How's it going, everybody? So we're back out in the shop, and today we're going to be making a Kydex press. This guy right here. It is not the most beautiful thing in the world, but it works. This is not the first way that it was made. I had different hinges on it, and I built it the way that I thought made sense, but I had to change it halfway through, and y'all will get to see that in this video and see it in action. I did make a Kydex sheath with it for a knife. It turned out great. I'll show you that at the end of the video. And yeah, so let's jump into this, see what worked and see what didn't work. Go from there. Let's get it. So we're just using liquid nails, and I'm just making sure that I get enough on there to make this thing stick. I'm not super worried about it being the most amazing bond in the world, but I'm using the rough side of this mat down towards the glue and the smooth side towards the inside. And these are just those square kind of grid system mats that you would have in a kid's room for them to play on that I cut down. And of course we're just getting it clamped up right now so that liquid nails can cure. And I went ahead and left this overnight so that it had plenty of time to cure. So you'll see later in the video where I have to end up taking these hinges off. I did bend these hinges around here and shape them like this because at first, whenever I was making it, I thought that this foam would be plenty thick enough. Turns out it was not, so I ended up having to scrap this idea, and it would have worked great just like that, but the foam has to be thicker in order for your Kydex to be real defined. Now, this is just creating the legs for the actual Kydex press so that it can be raised off the table just a little bit so the clamps have an area to go underneath without me having to hang this whole entire thing off of the edge of the workbench right there. So and right here I didn't need to do this step, but I went ahead and did it anyways. It was not real level, so I put these little screws in the bottom to kind of make feet, so you can screw them in or pull them out a little bit and make it as level as possible. Now you can see here, I took the hinges off and put the extra mats in there so that it was thick enough. And then I just use clamps for this part. Now of course from this point forward I won't have to use all four of these clamps because I will have a hinge on it, but I got it all clamped down and then let this rest for about 25 minutes. I think you can let it rest for about 15 minutes, but I went ahead and let it rest for 25. And there you go. It turned out better than I thought it was going to. I didn't know it was going to have that much definition, but it really turned out good. And I'd already marked these holes so that I had an idea of where they were going to go. I spaced them out and made sure I had enough room to actually put in the eyelets. You can can see my markings right there. And now we just went ahead and got it all cut out. Now, I didn't show me doing the eyelets actually because they were not the easiest thing. The little punch and die that came with mine, I don't know if it was the right size, but the first 3 eyelets I put in, they didn't work out that well, so I had to pull them out and do them again, and it just wasn't really worth showing. And I'm using a 400 grit belt here just to give it a nice little smooth edge and polish on the outside. And this is what it looks like with just the 4 pieces of foam. Now, you can see here that the hinges, after I put in the extra foam, they were not long enough to be able to be bolted to the bottom. But with this hinge, it's big enough to be able to screw into that bottom piece right there and then screw into the top. And at first I was going to do 2 hinges, but I decided to center it and do 1. And I'm going to go ahead and bend that bottom edge around the bottom. You can see right here where the bottom of that hinge wraps around the bottom of the press. Got 1 screw in there, and then I did put a screw underneath it as well. So there's 2 screws on that bottom. Well, this is how it turned out. So we've got the clamps up front, the hinge on the back, and it's just 1. It's a little bit different than the way I was going to do it originally, but hinge back here, it's all that's really necessary. Clamps up front, just pop them off, just like that. This opens up. You could take this out, and this hinge is actually pretty strong. If you close this down, it keeps it open. But you got to have these in there to be able to be thick enough to press it and get really good definition. Now, I plan on replacing those pieces of foam with a thicker piece of foam on the top and the bottom. But for now, this works just fine. And it did really good with the definition of the sheath. So there's that. This is pretty cool because this is the first time I've actually made a sheath. And I think it turned out way better than what I thought it was going to. Some of the stuff that I did to this was just kind of me thinking through what I liked about sheaths and what I don't like about sheaths. And I tried to put all of that into this. It just happened to work out. What I did here, I opened this up completely so you can get a full perch on the knife handle. I am not a huge fan of the ones that come all the way back here. I wanted it to be just like this, and it works. It's got real good retention, and it's made to where you can literally hang it from your neck down here, probably not right here, but right here, and if you wanted to, you could put it in your pocket. I had it in my pocket today, and you couldn't even tell it was there. It's pretty cool being able to carry around a fixed blade like that. It's just good old sheath. Now, this wasn't really a video about me making sheaths. It was a video about me making that press, and then I did the sheath so y'all can see that it works. If y'all want me to go into a little bit more depth with this, just leave it in the comment section, and I'll go over that in the Shop Talk Tuesday for this coming up Tuesday. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you would, give this video a thumbs up. Share it if you can, or share one of my videos that I've done in the past that you really like. If you haven't subscribed yet, go on the bottom corner, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you actually get notified for the videos I have coming up, and I've got a lot coming up. Pretty simple. If y'all like it, awesome. If y'all don't, tell me about it. But for this one, that's it. Y'all have an amazing day. I'll catch y'all next time.